As more details emerge about Martin Gugino's past, the 75-year-old protester from Buffalo appears to have a long history advocating for militant progressive movements. That's according to One America's Pearson Sharp.
Martin Gugino, the 75-year-old man from New York who was knocked to the ground after confronting police in Buffalo, has a questionable past. And now, we'd like to take a moment and just ask some questions and give you, the viewer, the chance to make up your own mind about what really happened. First of all, let's take a look at his position on the police. The media claim Martin was just a sweet old man, a devout Catholic who bears no ill will against the police after the incident. If that's the case, then why did he post this message from his personal Twitter account? Or this message with the hashtag ACAB, which stands for All Cops Are Bastards. So again, while CNN and the rest of the mainstream media are happy to cover up Martin's anti-police history, we here at One America News think you should have the facts to decide for yourself. And if he's such a genial old man, why has he been arrested at least 4 times in the past for protesting? If he's such a peace lover, why would the mayor of a city specifically call Martin out as a troublemaker, an agitator, the key and major instigator for rioters looting the city? Digging deeper, Martin's online history leaves a trail of anti-American, anti-government opinions, including repeatedly denouncing the U.S. for maintaining a base at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Shockingly, in a tweet that appears to be from his account, Martin says, quote, "Maybe it's time for America to be destroyed, and that he will have to sacrifice his safety." These are not the words of a peaceful man who intends to avoid danger, but rather one who seems to be trying to put himself in harm's way to accomplish the destruction of America. Maybe that's why he was active on anarchist messaging boards and forums and was also participating in a community that's planning a troublemaking summer school for anarchists and Antifa. And if he wasn't looking for trouble, why would he intentionally defy the police curfew by claiming it doesn't apply to protesters? Also, why was he seen just before the incident chatting with Mike Desmond, a photographer for WBFO Buffalo, and the very same man who filmed the incident? But one of the biggest questions is why a 75-year-old man with cancer would ignore orders to leave and instead decide to confront an advancing line of police officers. It's not clear, and neither is what happened next. When police pushed him back to protect themselves, Martin falls, apparently strikes his head, and immediately, less than a second after hitting the ground, begins gushing blood from what appears to be his ears. One America News spoke with several doctors, including an emergency room physician, who says such a wound is extremely unlikely. They explained that when he fell, he would have hit his occipital bone, the back of his head, which they explained is one of the strongest parts of the skull. The doctors told us that for this type of bleeding, the skull would need to break, but that the kind of fall Martin suffered likely wasn't bad enough to fracture his skull, even in an elderly man. They also explained that to bleed from the ear, you would need a temporal lobe fracture. But since he wasn't hit in the side of the head, that isn't likely either. Now, to be clear, we are not suggesting Martin wasn't hit in the head. We are simply reporting what experienced doctors and physicians have told us, which is that what appears on tape looks very unlikely. We have an open mind, and we want to uncover the facts, and reviewing a CAT scan or his medical report would go a long way to answering some of these very important questions. As it stands, the facts paint a pretty clear picture. This doesn't look like the history of a docile old man who's a victim of police brutality, but rather a radical activist who was looking for trouble and found it. One America News will keep following this story and keep digging to give you the chance to make your own decision about what might have happened. For One America News, I'm Pearson Sharp.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.